I know that I'm in the wrong in this. I know that I'm wrong. I know that. I know that. I know that logically it's wrong, but so far it's always worked out.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Well, that's over with.
Welcome to the Ever Forward Podcast, a friendly backyard hangout by artists for artists.
Yeah, I'm Mair Mulroney.
And I'm Tyler Tackett. Got it better the second time.
You got it better the second time. That was good.
Thanks.
That was good. How's your week going?
It's fine now. That was really stressful.
Was it really?
Yeah, kind of. It was, first time jitters. It's over. My adrenaline's pumping. I feel ready to tackle this week's hot topics. My week was fine. How was your week?
Huh.
Oh.
It's over. My week was great.
Today's Sunday for reference. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Today's Sunday. I wrapped on my 6-week adventure of filming. So I'm done.
6 weeks straight, too. You're talking like, I think we mentioned on the last one, but we're talking like 12-hour days with like really high energy stuff.
Yeah.
That's exhausting. I don't think people appreciate how exhausting that can be, you know?
No, and also it wasn't like one production all the way through.
Yeah.
It was one finished, next one next day, next one next day, next one next day.
And there were points, you were kind of like bouncing between like multiple.
Yeah, actually one was I had pickup shots from another one. So like usually I'd be on something for 2 weeks and then, but it was a lot.
With the character, I'm trying to keep up with them, but like in the ones that you did back and forth with the characters, like a like it all, or were you having to like flip a switch? Like
that's the one like easy thing. The characters are all exactly the same.
You played a witch. You played a witch,
okay, the witch
with a dagger.
The witch with the dagger was
and
cool.
Remember that time you played that bitch?
Which time, Tyler? Which time?
Can I tell you something? My mama, the last time I talked to her, or I guess when I was back home for Mardi Gras, shout out Crew de la Famille. I remember I I brought you up and
just once.
Look,
just kidding.
Man, it was Mardi Gras. You know, I admittedly forgot where I was going with that.
You brought me up, and it was. I think I know what you mean. Did she watch them? Does she watch the?
Oh, that's what it was. Thank you. Whew. You know what we call that in the industry?
Callback?
A pothole.
Pothole. Oh, well, that would make sense.
Fell into a pothole for a second. No, I was talking to Momo, and she was like, Tyler, I gotta tell you, we really love Mair. She was great. They really did. They adored you, which was really cool. Never brought someone home to Momo before. But she's like, oh, she was great. But I got to tell you, I'm on Facebook and I see her in these shows. And Tyler, I say, she plays a real good bitch. And I was like, that's because she's a really good actor, man. She's a really good actor. You're the sweetest person ever. But my God, can you channel something?
Yeah, it comes out from time to time.
But it's so charming when you do it. You're like, it's...
Well, because, look, I think the characters that I normally get, that I most often get called in for to play they're so similar to each other and, like, they're so heinous. I just feel like the situations, they're not real to me, and I feel like there's no backstory with the characters that I'm given where it's like, oh, well, she's this way because, or she's mean because, or she has like a real reason. She doesn't. So in my mind, she's just completely oblivious to the fact that there's anything wrong with her. So I just
That's funny as shit, though. That's really
yeah.
funny. That's always a funny character trait. So do you like, not to be all like what's your process? But like for instance, for me, anytime I get a character, my first thing I do after I like read through the script and stuff, obviously, is I make a playlist like on Spotify for that character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then from there you do various research and yada yada. Do you have like, because you're bouncing back and forth between all these? I've never asked. Do you have like do you do like music or anything like that? What do you do? What's your kind of thing? Or do you just need to be like so relaxed and like zoned in? Or you just shut your brain off?
Essentially. Look, what kind of projects are we talking about here?
Just in general. In general. Not just...
Yeah.
I mean, whatever you need to do for these is whatever. But you are bouncing between different things.
So it depends. Like, it depends on what I'm working on. So, like, if I'm shooting, like, a comedy or something like that, then, yeah. I'll, I try to, like, be, like, have... probably listening to something like more playful, or I'll just be like more playful in the moment and stuff like that, hanging out with the crew and the cast and stuff. Like, I'm usually pretty playful regardless, but it might be a little bit more uppity up. If it's real dramatic or like super intense, I mean, I'll kind of zone into that. I might be a little bit more like in myself and not as friendly with and it's not an unfriendly thing, but I might just be like,
no, you just need to be kind of like
zone and not. There's a lot of people on set, and so you just kind of want to, like, I don't know, there's a lot of energy, and like people be setting up shots and talking about this and
it's
that,
a lot
and you're
of
kind
noise.
of like, you're just sitting there like, okay, well, I have to like do something really heinous right now, or be like, go into a place or like cry, whatever it is. You have to like shut your brain off a little bit there, just kind of like disassociate a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
Which I'm too good at doing, I think. And but like,
way to use your trauma as a fucking superpower, though. Well done.
Actually,
hey, we have trauma. Trauma don't have we. You know what I mean?
Dude, when we were filming Placid Park, there was one time when we were like having dinner, everybody, like as a cast, and it was probably like one of the first couple of days we were hanging out, and you asked everybody like kind of like, hey man, like what would you say your superpower is?
Hang on, real quick. Was that your impression of me? Was that your impression of me? Hey, do I do that? No.
Like it wasn't like dorky. It was very, listen.
First, I didn't use the word dorky.
Okay, but
why was that
No, it was very cute and like endearing. It's just one of those like icebreaker type of things when you don't like know everybody, you know, and we're all kind of like sitting around. You and I know each other really well, so like people were kind of taking it seriously and being like, "Oh, I would like fly, or I would do this," and I looked at you and I was like, "I can disassociate really well." And you're like, oh, facts. Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've never related to a superhero more. Yo, hang on. Real quick. Idea.
Yeah.
Worst, like, kind of taken from, kind of like a Wolverine type healing, like, okay. Imagine a superhero movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except this superhero, his superpower is, like, he has kind of like Wolverine's healing abilities. He's pretty much, like, unkillable.
Yeah.
Right? Except he's also real fucking depressed. And all he wants to do is tap out, but Lord help him, he can't. And the real hero's journey of it all, like he just keeps trying and he keeps just like
tap out.
Like no. You know, take a long walk off a short pier kind of thing.
Ah, okay. Yeah. All right, I see.
Me hearty. I hope they can tell. You know what I mean?
You can't cross your legs in those pants. And that's hilarious.
They're kind of stretchy.
I tried. I just saw you attempt it twice.
First of all, I was playing it up for comedic value. You know, my hips are not flexible.
Your hips are actually very flexible, but those are some tight boys, and we wore in sweatpants every time.
Have we done sweatpants every time?
I think so.
I was trying to class it up. This is a Hugo Boss shirt.
It's very nice. It looks great on you.
Shout out Michael Vaccaro.
Oh, we love you, Michael. We had like a nice little photo shoot with him the other day. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Photo shoot / hangout.
I'm going to throw a picture of this handsome son of a bitch up real quick. Check this out. Wouldn't it be fucked up if I didn't? I mean, I definitely am. But wouldn't it be funny if that was just, I'm going to do this.
And then we just don't? Oh my god, I love that. No. And you did really well. You took some really good photos.
Hey man, it's real easy if the person in front of your lens is confident and did you just burp?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I appreciate you blowing it that way.
I did.
Nice.
Yeah. I was thinking about you, you know? But yeah, the like going back to the process thing. I don't know. I know that you play a lot of different, usually much deeper roles than I typically get to play.
Hey, you know what I mean? But you know what I mean? But like
you shot a whole feature film over this summer where it was like a very, very different. You went to another country. It was a very different vibe. You were playing like a dad.
This was man. Yeah, it was the most like I don't know. It was like the most like me character I've ever played. If that makes sense.
No.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly, super emo. But that's kind of the aesthetic. It's gonna have this kind of almost like early 2000s industrial metal, Marilyn Manson, Evanescence kind of vibe to it.
I mean, I've seen the screen, like the dailies, the little screen grabs and stuff, and it looks phenomenal.
Yeah, it's really something special, man. The whole team down in Cyprus was just absolutely incredible, and it was cool because it was like, I was playing a dad. I've never really played like a dad anything before. I'm finally at like that age.
We had to feed you good.
Man,
we had to feed you good for a good
You did
night.
feed me good. I ate like a pig, dude. It was so great. I'm talking like steak and taters every night. You know, eggs.
Yeah, back when we could afford them.
Oof. It's hitting a nerve. Hits a nerve every time.
Dude, you also with that one, it did have a lot of like action and stuff in it, and a lot of like fight sequences and stuff. So I feel like that kind of fit in your. I mean, that's your wheelhouse, you know.
Yeah, that's kind of my bag. Like, there was a lot of it, but honestly, like I've never had to be so like honest and emotional. You know, it was a really wonderful opportunity. Honestly. Loris Kirchi and Tatiana and Vadim and the whole team over in Cyprus like really trusted me with like a lot with this movie because they're trying to build the film community out in Cyprus, and they're doing a fantastic job. But admittedly, I mean, it's an island; it's hard to get resources, you know, and things like that. But goddamn, it was really impressive to see. So there was just a lot of like, I always feel a tremendous amount of like pressure and stuff. I think we all do, and like a certain responsibility to show up and be able to deliver and do the job you were hired to do and that sort of thing. But this was interesting, not only because I've only been out of the country once prior for a different film, went to Serbia, also a tremendous experience. Same producer? Producer, yeah, Loris, he's a fucking man. Really solid fucking dude, real champion of mine. He's looked out for me a lot. So it was I got to travel to a new country, which was beautiful, and this like kind of culture shock. Like it's so dope. We were staying in Paphos, which is down in like the southern part of the island. And it's,
I saw.
Yeah,
jealous.
I guess you did.
I was jealous.
Man, the only complaint was the time of the year we went was so hot. Like
and nothing has air conditioning, I'm sure.
They're not. No, I mean most places. There were some places that didn't for sure. But typically those places were up in the mountains. So that was what was cool because like you'd be in Paphos and it would be tropical and it's like almost like this island resort kind of thing, right? But then you would drive like, I shit you not, like 90 minutes north in the island, and you're up in the mountains and it's like fucking cold and like gorgeous. I have to admit, most beautiful sunsets I've ever seen in my life in Cyprus. Man, it was one of those like you see in a painting kind of thing, but you're in front of you. It's crazy.
Not like a we get some beautiful sunsets in Los Angeles, but that's because pollution.
Yeah.
So the skies get like real pink.
They do. Dude, there's times you go out there and it looks like an anime, like, or something.
It does.
You know what I mean? Like, there's, like, oranges and purples, and, like, what is that color doing up there?
Yeah.
You know?
No, I went to Costa Rica a couple years ago, and it was, the sunsets were a different thing. They were, in fact, they're so beautiful, and maybe it's because it's like a beach town that I was in, but people make a point, like the whole community will go, like, it's like, oh, it's sunset. What are you doing for sunset? Where are you going to be at sunset? Cool. And everybody...
It's like their tea time kind of thing.
It literally, yeah, because it's
really
like
cool.
whatever you're doing, nobody's working, nobody's doing anything, they're catching the sunset. And that's beautiful, because you say that to me too. You're like, we only get so many of these. You'll be like, sunset, let's go outside and watch the sunset together, and it's very cute. And you're like, we only get so many of these in a lifetime, we have to enjoy them. That's very true.
I am a big, tough, emotionally numb, fucking steel cage stunt man. I am 165 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal.
Honey, if there's...
The limousine riding.
If there is anything that...
Jet plane flying.
If there's anything...
Wheeling, dealing, kiss stealing.
If there's anything we learned from watching Fall Guy last night, it's that stuntmen have emotions too.
That movie was so fucking good.
That was the best movie, dude. That was the best. I've been putting it off watching it because I wanted to watch it with you.
Yeah.
And two, I don't know, I had heard reviews and so many people said they're like, the storyline kind of fell short. What are you talking about? Did you see the movie? I didn't see that. I thought it was
so clever.
It was a perfect film.
And it's also based off of like an old show from like I think like the 60s or 70s, So it kind of I like that it allowed for a certain level of like intentional, like not camp, not like
it
camp.
Wasn't campy.
It was clever as fuck, dude.
I cried in that movie
a couple times,
like several times.
I cried when Ryan Gosling showed his abs. I was like, I'll never be that much of a man.
Oh, stop,
dude! He has that like that bicep vein that just like crawls up here.
Listen, I am a Gosling champion. I think that he is.
Hang on. You can't say that you're a Gosling champion. The cameras are on, dog. What do you? Is the internet, homie? What do you say? What are you doing?
But I am, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Ryan Gosling. Oh, that didn't help at all!
No!
Oh, that made it worse!
Dude,
it's so good.
He's such a good actor. He understands every assignment. He's so funny and charming and likable.
And self-deprecating in the right way.
Yeah, he's great. But he has like a whole team of people to like make him look like that. He was playing a stuntman.
Yeah. So
there's not, like don't judge yourself, honey. You look phenomenal and you're super sexy and you are a stuntman, okay?
I like how I teed that up and you knocked it out of the park. I just needed a little bit of validation. Thank you so much for picking that one up, baby. Aww. Up top. So I guess my process would be
ever. Don't do that. You don't leave me hanging. Absolutely not. Nope. Nada.
Jesus. So,
so where do you want to get back to? Do you want to go to the process or do you want to keep talking about it?
Fall Guy's awesome. Watch it. Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt. Oh God, what's the actress's? The actress from Ted Lasso. She's so fucking great. I'm a dick. I'm gonna put it down here. Our little buddies.
Oh my God. Yes, Waddington. Something Waddington. Is her last name?
Isn't that the bear? Paddington.
No. Her last name is
No,
the bear is Paddington. Okay. Yeah, no. Something Waddington. She's phenomenal. I love her. And she's a really good singer.
Is she really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like she's
got a cool voice. That makes sense.
She was in Les Mis.
I've only seen that movie. I really liked it, but I've only watched it once, and it was a while back.
I'm not a musical. Which is so funny as somebody who comes with like music. I have never liked the like over the top like of musicals. That
was like opera. That was good.
Oh, thanks.
You channeled that so easily.
I'm a singer. No, I just don't like the like
the musical theater.
I don't.
kind.
Yeah, it's not my thing.
Yeah,
I'm not against it, and I love my musical theater folks. But like, and I do actually want to see Wicked, but I've just never been the like. I'm more of the like. Show me, like, I want to hear your soul and your agony, like, through your
bleed in front of me.
I want to hear that, like, through your vocal cords. And that's, like, what I want. Like,
savage, dude.
But that's actually what Les Mis is, because it's, and that, I think it was the very first time a film musical was all recorded live. So,
I feel like I might have known that. Yeah, that's
like
crazy.
There's no lip syncing. It's all, they're recorded live, which gives it that like raw, guttural. And I think maybe that's what throws me off with musicals. Because if I go to New York and I watch one on like Broadway or something.
You mean specific like film musicals?
I'm talking about film
musicals.
musicals. Sometimes they kind of, I'm just like,
How do you feel about Sweeney Todd?
Can I be honest with you?
Sure.
I never saw it.
Oh, we should watch it. I love Sweeney Todd.
I'm the biggest... Oh my
Tim
God.
Burton, Helena Bonham Carter, Johnny Depp.
Those are my
Alan Rickman.
That's
Peter Pettigrew.
That's it. That's all I need in life. Those are my. That's
Sacha
all.
Baron Cohen.
What?
I know.
That's all I need.
He's the demon barber of Fleet Street. I've been trying to tell you.
When it came out, there was
too spooky.
Bad
teeth.
No, it was the It's like some scene where there was a slice, and it was one of the ads for it, like one of the like. Previews or something, and there's just like blood gushing everywhere, and I just couldn't handle that at that time.
That's fair.
And
that's totally fair. It's not like a hey, let's throw this on at Christmas time kind of movie for sure. It's dark. It's really good.
But it's Tim Burton, and it's my favorite. Helen Bonham.
Watch it.
I want to like
review of Mair's first time watching Sweeney Todd.
Oh, we should do that.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah. It's great. I really loved it. I saw when it came out. I guess it was in high school when it came out.
It would have been barely.
Barely?
Yeah, because I think I was a freshman
when it came out.
Yeah, so maybe I was a sophomore, but you would have been either a freshman or in 8th grade. Because you're young.
Got it.
Yeah. Younger than me.
That was you. You want to see my impression? You did a good impression of me earlier. You want to see my impression of you?
No.
That's you.
Oh.
Like, it was like a frog, kind of. It's funny when you do it.
And I'm sitting like one, too. I'm wearing orange pants of all things.
I like these pants. You have some pink ones kind of like this, too. They're shinier, the pink ones, but I think they're cool. They're probably super comfortable.
Yeah, it's like kind of wearing nothing at all, just something that makes noise when you walk.
So you would not use those on your next covert operation?
No.
Not a sneak up on you kind of pair.
Yeah.
That's more of like in your face. I'm gonna like
I'm here.
Oh shit, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm here. Yo, that's hard as fuck. You turn a hallway and like you're the bad guy and you turn a hallway and you're like you think you got away, but then you turn and you look at the other end and you see just like the silhouette of your of the hero.
Yeah.
And he just goes, yeah,
I'm here.
I'm here. Ooh, chills.
You do a really good... You do like a good superhero voice.
Thanks. Wait, hang on. Oh, here, hang on. Ty, hit me with a single. Thanks. I'm missing... Wait, hang on.
You gotta get deeper.
Yeah. Thanks. Huh? It's not confident, you know?
It's not confident, you're questioning it.
Yeah.
You're questioning it. Also, don't look at them. I feel like you wouldn't look at them and go, thanks.
I spiked the lens.
Thanks,
it was a creative choice. That was the chair. So, you never answered me. What is... Do you... I mean, maybe the answer is no, but do you have, like... Do you do, like, the music thing? Is, like... part of the prep at all? Do you do...
I do.
Say it's like a more like a heavier role. I know you.
No. I'll do a playlist.
Like Candy and Ronnie. What was like, that was dark as shit.
Yeah. Kind of, okay, can I be, like, brutally honest?
That's all I want. That's all I want. And no judgment. There's whatever works for you works for you. That's all that matters.
I don't, this is probably why I signed up for therapy. I don't need...
Hey, we both signed up for therapy. Hey, up top.
I won't leave you hanging.
I won't leave you hanging.
I don't really need... I don't really need to, like, go somewhere. 'Cause it's always, like, right here.
Yeah,
It's
I feel
always,
that.
like,
Yeah.
right there. Sometimes, yeah, like, I might be really quiet, or maybe, like, right before, if there's too much noise around me with, like, people moving around and doing stuff, I might need to, like, put headphones in for a second, just be like, okay, or, like, just be alone for a sec. But, like, in preparing for something...
You feel best, like, your preparation kind of being, like, not a bunch of preparation and staying loose?
And I don't know, yeah, I don't know if that's, like, a good way of doing it.
Seems to be working for you pretty well. Was it different? Okay, you got a Star Wars poster behind you. How about, was there any, did you feel the need to do anything differently there? Because I think it's kind of cool that if you can just, if your move is to just roll in there just as loose as possible and not having much of a plan, and you're acting off instinct.
So,
you know, I don't know.
For that one, they wanted somebody.
For Star Wars, you mean?
For Star Wars, yeah. You know, my stuff was relatively, like, you know, I wasn't doing, like, these big long scenes, you know. Right. But when I had gotten the audition, I knew that I had gotten the breakdown and everything for the character, and I was like, okay, I can do this very, like, stoic kind of certain thing, and she's British. And so when I went into the audition, I thought they wanted specifically a British actor, so I went into the audition room and I just didn't say shit because I didn't want to give them a chance to question my accent.
Oh, nice.
So I didn't say...
That's a brave move.
Yeah, no, I just didn't say stuff. I just kind of looked, you know, and I stood very straight and proper, like I had pictured a fucking British person would, because they're all so classy. And I was, like, trying to channel my, like, Keira Knightley,
nice,
Emma Watson.
Ooh, nice.
And
combo, yeah, sure.
I basically went in there and then I did the scene, and then they would, like, ask me little questions afterwards. And I was very, very, like, brief in my answers. It was very, like, yes, no, like, type of thing, because I didn't want to give him a shot to be like,
it also probably played into, like, the stoicness of the character.
That's what worked. They were like, oh, no, that's the character. Like, she really nailed it.
That's so
like,
funny, because
I didn't want you guys to know.
Yeah, it's so funny. That's so good. That's so good.
Yeah.
You have a good British accent. Mine's not very good. I remember one time I was working, I'm like 18, I'm working at Olive Garden back in Conroe, Texas. And it was like late one night, and it's like me and one other server, 18, 19, something like that. And we're like bored one night, and this couple comes in. The last couple would come in like 8:30. We close at 9, kind of thing. It's my table, of course. I'm like, fuck, I was about to get cut and get out of here, but whatever. So he's like, hey man, I dare you to go up to this couple and speak in a British accent and just, like, you know, play it through to the end. And I was like, all right, bet. So I go over there, and I should have known. They gave off British vibes, I guess. I don't know. Or English vibes of some kind. Anyway, I go up to them.
Were they... Oh my God.
And
I'm cringing for you right now.
Hello, I'm Tyler. I'll be taking care of you today. Oh.
I think that's sexy, and I think that sounds very good.
Oh, thank you. And the woman, I'll never forget. I can remember standing at the table, like, tables here, she's here, he's here. They're, like, facing each other. And so politely, like, they didn't acknowledge the accent at all. Thank God. But I remember her sitting right here, and her just turned up. yes, I'll have a soda water and lime juice.
Oh.
And I was like, oh no! Right? And so I had to do this. They had to have known. They had to have known.
Oh, I'm sure, because you're a waiter in Los Angeles.
No,
Like,
I'm a waiter in Conroe,
you're in
Texas.
Oh.
That's what makes it even funnier, because what are the fucking odds in Conroe, Texas? The one time, that's the only time I've ever done that. The one time I did it,
so
the last table
funny.
that came in, it was fucking fate, dude. And I had to like phase out the accent like throughout the night. And so by the end of it, I was talking like me. I was probably talking like this, but with a little bit more of a southern twang, because I had,
oh my
you know,
gosh. That
dude,
is so funny.
The crazy, like the crazy teenager that served them dinner that night, you know, I can only imagine how they must have felt.
Babe, when I was also a teenager, technically. Yeah, I was a teenager. Like,
Okay.
Late teens.
Okay.
And I would like call labels to like submit myself as an artist to them.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I've got this artist. Like, yeah, see him. Like, I would like pretend to be an A&R. And
That's a good move.
But I was like,
How bold? How old were you? Like, what, 17, 18?
Yeah.
That's right on, man. That's fucking initiative.
I mean, I don't really think it worked that fucking well, but I would call as a British person named, funny enough, Candy. I was Candy, and I.
Oh my gosh!
And
it was like I was sitting with her. That was
so bad back then too, and then. And I would call and like really hype up. I was like, well, everybody respects British people, so I'll be British. And also it was the only way, because I sounded like me, but like younger, like a little girl. So I was like, I don't know how to sound like an adult, you know. And
money I would pay to have the recordings of those conversations.
I'm sure they exist. One time, somebody, like this one girl, like who answered the phone, I know she knew that I was not British, because probably, I'm sure, first of all, people do that. I'm sure I wasn't the first person to do that. And like pitching this artist, and she's like, also, this is not how artists are pitched. Like, that's
you don't just call us and be like, hey.
You just don't do that. And she asked me, she's like, oh, you, so you're from the UK? Where exactly are you from? And I panicked, and I said, I'm the Queen of bloody fucking Wales.
No, you didn't.
And I hung up the phone.
No!
The Queen of bloody fucking Wales? What?
Were you just sitting in your room by yourself?
I was in a recording studio.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. I'm blushing thinking about it. I'm so
That
embarrassed.
is so. Can you only imagine what that person was like?
This is fucking.
Goes home that night to have dinner, and they're all like, "You are not gonna believe what happened to me at work." You know, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I love the confidence, though, even at such a young age. Way to be proactive, man.
I think, more delusion than anything, but that's fine.
You know what, man? I feel like you need a little bit of delusion, because you have to consider that, like, at that age, because we both kind of started swinging for the fences at around the same age. I was about 17. I was 17 when I got my first movie.
Yeah.
You know, I'd done like theater and stuff prior, but it's like 17. And I, much like you, kind of got thrown into this like really adult world, and very, you know, around a bunch of creatives and stuff, which was really dope. And so I did like a string of, you know, like fucking movies and stuff, and I lost my point again.
But you have to. I think you have to have a certain.
Oh, delusion. Thank you. That's where I was going. At that period, if I had enough information, like to know what to be afraid of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I may not have, you know, had the balls to do it. So maybe like a little bit of a delusion, at least when you're first starting out, is necessary. You know, and then it evolves into belief. You know.
How's our timing?
Good. Yeah.
I do think you need delusion, because when you're young, I remember thinking like, oh, people saying like the industry is like that bad. Like it can't be that bad. You know, it's like there's no way. Just like, you know, hearing about the Illuminati or something like that. I was like, there's no way that's crazy. There's no way that exists.
Yeah. Come to find out you were wrong.
Yeah. Then you realize, like, because as a kid, you're like taught, what's crazy, you're taught about like monsters, and they're these ugly creatures that live under the bed, and they're like terrible, and they're so in your face, and you're just like, well, that's not real. That doesn't exist. Because, you know, you realize, like, Santa Claus doesn't exist. Like, sometimes, like, the Easter Bunny doesn't exist.
What?
Sorry. I don't know. That's what I was told. I don't know that that's actually true.
You're exaggerating.
But you...
Exaggerating.
What?
The Easter Bunny. Monsters.
Anyways. It's kind of that thing of, like, being when you're, you know, a teenager, or even, like, becoming a young adult, you have this mindset of, like, yeah, people say it's bad, but like whatever. People say it's hard, but like whatever.
Right.
And then you live it, and you're like, oh snap! Like, but it takes years, and you got to be really in the shit to see it, and you got to be in that world, and it's not an overnight process to get in that world, and you'll see glimpses of things, and you'll be like, oh, okay, so that's what people are like talking about, or that, and you see it with stuff with like Diddy and stuff coming out like that. Yeah. It's very there's not rumors start for a reason, you know, and I don't know. So as a kid, it's the same thing of being like, yeah, people say I can't make it, whatever. Like, oh, it's 1 in a million, but like other people did it, I can do. And so you just have this. I don't know, you think you're completely invincible type of thing, which is great, and that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, at least, I mean, we have hindsight's 2020, right? We have perspective now, but
so much perspective.
I know. Therapy. Hey, BetterHelp, throw us a sponsorship. Sorry. What do you think it was that kept you going on the whole like artist path though, despite like what you found out and like the walls kind of coming down and stuff?
I don't know how to do anything else.
Ooh, I like that. I
don't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I've ever been good at. And despite the walls coming down, if the veil had been lifted when I very first started, I probably would have been like, oh, I can't handle this and I'm not good enough anyways. So I'm going to step back. But, I took a lot of time. You develop, you become really good at your craft. You learn things and you appreciate the art in the industry, and you appreciate different aspects of, creating, whether it's music or movies or television or whatever it is. And you fall in love with it, and at a certain point you're like, all right, well, I already dealt with that. What else you got?
Hey, fuck yeah, let's go. I can cheers to that.
I'm out.
Well. We'll be right back. Wait, should look at this camera. We'll be right back.
And just so show me like the pop.
So with any of these things, it's the recoil, right, that sells it. So if you're here, it would be like, So if you're here, it would be bah. You could barely even touch it. Oh, sorry. So it'd be like here.
Because I would have you in the.
Yeah, you have the arm lock there. And, yeah. I mean, you can touch them a little bit, but the sell is going to be that pop off of it, Yeah. Yeah, cool. You don't even have to go any harder than that, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And I think we'll see where the camera is. One of the things that I see a lot with people throwing punches is their elbows are too low sometimes, or they're like way the fuck up here.
Yeah.
So
Find a nice 45.
Yeah, we'll see
In
where it
line
is.
with your attack.
Yeah, exactly, because either your wrist might go like that doesn't look as strong, or it might be like that. So you want this kind of all in one straight line, boom, and some of that shoulder movement will help sell it too. Yeah, even more shoulder, I think.
Even more shoulder.
Boom.
There.
Yeah. See how your body kind of naturally rotates that way, and then when on the recoil, you turn two.
Got it. So like you go slow and be like,
Boom. Right. Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. And we'll see where camera is and see how far back you need to pull and stuff. But that's the idea.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
And that's
it.
as hard as you need to touch.
Cool.
Rooster will sell it. Hello, too.
Soft sticks, babe.
Sorry. I'm really sorry. That hurt my ears more than it hurt yours.
Probably.
Goodness. The alligator just snapped down right there. Goodness gracious. Speaking of my good ear.
Oh. So if
Huh?
oh god.
Just kidding. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
So if high school Ty, baby Ty,
Fuck, okay.
if true, this is a true question. You have to answer this with
Okay.
your full honesty.
Okay.
Okay. If baby Ty, who knew that he wanted to be an actor, like knew that was what he was going to do with his life, if he saw you right now, would he be like stoked, or would he be, or how would he, what are
Mair. Listen to me real quick. Listen, you know what I mean? He'd be fucking thrilled.
really?
Yeah, he would be thrilled. He'd have some questions. He'd have some questions. But he would be absolutely thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, look, man, even on its worst days, like, we made movies,
Yeah.
Sometimes they all look different. The experiences are all different. That's kind of part of the fun. You go to a new set, you meet a whole new family, some that's like, 10 people or even less. We both worked on some even less than 10, to, hundreds, and you meet a whole new group of people and you guys go on this very odd journey together. Because it's a weird profession, no matter how you slice it. But you go on this weird journey with them, and I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. It's an experience like unlike anything else. Yeah, and I try to remember that. I try to remember even like when you're on set and it's like the 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th hour. And so we both have done those, and you're cold and you're wet, and all you had for lunch or crafty was some celery sticks, an apple, and maybe a ham sandwich.
Yeah, because you want to be skinny.
Well, sometimes that's all budget would allow.
Oh yeah.
Is that the Hollywood diet? A ham sandwich, celery, and an apple?
I mean,
you'd get skinny.
yeah,
Would not recommend.
I don't even have that. They served. They were like gourmet ham sandwiches, but I was like, hey guys, I can't eat that. Sorry.
Gluten and meat, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, they're like, oh, we have a salad for you, and I was like, cool. There's no protein in it; it was just leaves. But whatever, it's fine.
Don't they know that you're fucking bulking, my guy? Don't they know that you're fucking getting
I did
shredded?
bring. That's why I just like brought protein bars and stuff that you
Nice.
bought me. So
Peanut butter and jelly ones.
yeah, those are good.
Really good.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good. Thanks for the leaves, guys.
I swear to God, I'm like the person keeping those Fairlife protein shakes in business. I swear to God.
They're so good. I'm obsessed with those.
I am
now.
too. They're so good. They're like 26 grams of protein. They have them in like every gas station. They taste,
They're
as far as protein
delicious.
shakes go, they taste fucking awesome.
And they're vegan, which is kind of nice because that's the one thing about some of the protein shakes. It's not, I don't care about the fact that it has milk products or anything
Yeah.
like that. It's just sometimes it'll upset your stomach.
Yeah.
At least it does for me. So
No, protein shakes are notorious for that.
Yeah.
Protein farts are a real thing. You get trapped in an elevator at like a bodybuilding gym. Oh my god, dude. The walls start getting like foggy, the air's humid, between like sweat and hustle and fucking grind.
That sounds horrible.
And fucking protein farts. Disgusting.
Oh. I get like cauliflower farts.
I know. We all know, actually, if anyone's been following our recent episodes. Cauliflower. But no, I swear to God, I'm the guy keeping those like Fairlife protein shakes in business. I've got this routine now where I'll be going to set, and like breakfast will become like I'll stop at a 7-Eleven or something, and it'll be a Fairlife protein shake of some kind. Maybe like one of those, if it's breakfast time, maybe one of those protein cookie too. Those, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And fucking Celsius, because I am the picture of health, or energy drink of some kind.
Yeah. I think
every time you're in my car, dude, I'm like throwing out a new.
Yeah, no, my
just
car
always
looks
in there.
like your car now, and I've gotten hip to the game of like what you do, which is like you'll mix the Fairlife.
With your coffee.
You could do it with any protein shake or protein drink, any.
Yeah.
But I like that one, especially the
good.
vanilla one, because that's my favorite. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
mix that with like a double shot
Game
coffee.
changer. Game changer.
So good.
Oh, dude.
Rare
Like
to
breakfast of champions. That's what it's like, though, sometimes, dude. You're like, you get these calls, your call times will be like 3 or 4 in the morning sometimes, and you got to be all the way in like Anaheim or something like that, for instance. You had to do that this week. Or like Calabasas or wherever you are.
Arcadia.
Or
Yeah.
something like that.
And I've started being like a real cunt about it too. No, and I'll be like, all right, guys, so you guys know you're paying for gas, right? Like that's how I'll respond to the call sheet.
Yeah.
Is you guys know you're paying for gas. Don't tell me that we're shooting in LA and we're not shooting in LA. And I'm not talking about LA County. Don't play that game with me. I'm talking about Los fucking Angeles. It's big enough. All right, it's big enough. You're paying for gas. I don't care. Don't give me the bullshit about like how much 1 mile would cost per blah, blah, blah. You don't know my vehicle. Fuck you. I'm filling it all the way up, and you're paying for it. Okay, so that's just where I'm at.
Fuck yeah, dude. Let's go.
I can't. I'm like, okay, cool. You wanted to go get the cheaper location? That's what you wanted to do? Cool. You're paying for my fucking gas. I'm not doing this. Also, I will be late. If you haven't gotten hip to the game, call me half an hour earlier. If it's that
Well, what's
important.
fucked up is sometimes, especially on like lower budget things or like indie things sometimes, because they're not necessarily held to certain like penalties and stuff. Most productions try to stick to them anyway, because everyone wants to be professional, or most people want to be professional. Anyone that's worth taking seriously. But the worst is like, in scheduling is hard on any movie, but inevitably you're always going to fall behind. But you'll show up to set, they'll be like, yeah, your call's 4:30 a.m. We need you in hair and makeup by 4:15. Just long enough to drop your bags down and
Yeah.
take a poop skis and then get to makeup.
Yeah.
And and then they won't shoot, and then you're sitting in makeup, so you can't like lay down, like if you're like in a trailer or something, you can't like lay down and fuck up if you're wearing a wig or something, your hair is done. So you kind of just have to sit there, and then they won't shoot your scene till like 6 p.m. or some crazy shit.
Yeah.
And you can't leave, you can't go anywhere because they never know when they might need you. And you're like, oh fuck, man. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. Again, I love what we do, but fucking A, man.
I don't look. I don't mind it so much. I understand it. I get really annoyed when production is like, look, do not call me 5 minutes after my call time and be like, hey, what's your ETA? Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
A 4 a.m. is like,
Don't fucking do it.
it's an LA 4:15.
Yeah. First of all, if I'm 15 minutes late, I'm on time. All right.
That's definitely not true.
This is
your brain?
This is my
Okay.
brain. If I am 15 minutes late, I'm on time.
Okay.
All right. And if I am 30 minutes late, I'm 15 minutes late. So that's not a big deal. Okay?
Did you take the time to explain this to them, though?
I don't feel like I have,
They should already know it.
I have explained it several times to different people. Also, On the first day of shooting, I will show up on time. I will be there on time just to let them know that I can and am capable of doing it.
Okay. You played some fucking mind games, bro.
No, because here's the fucking thing, okay?
Yeah?
Here's the thing, all right? Now, if you paid me enough to where I don't have to worry about shit for like an entire month, 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is. Because I know that what I work on makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
Do I see that? No. But I know that it does, right? So it's one thing if you're working on like a passion project with your friends or something really like cool and meaningful that nobody cares about, but like we do. So you're like, okay, cool, I will put in this stuff. No. When when the material is not super fulfilling, and you know that you're part of this industry that's making a lot of money, and would a normal person be like, that's a pretty good amount for a day's worth of work? I'd be like, yeah, that's cool, but compared to what I'm helping this company make, it's not. So at that point, that's where I kind of lose patience, and I'm like, okay, cool, you want to play those games? Great. Now, you can complain because I know that, it's a team effort and you don't want to hold up production because that messes with the vibe of everybody else, right? So the second I'm late to set, to be on set, cameras rolling, the second I do that, the second I hold up a scene because I don't know my lines or I don't, I don't know what's going on or I'm not giving a good performance, then you can complain to me, all right? Don't call me 5 minutes after my fucking call time. Don't do it. I will be there when I read the call sheets. All right, I know the whole schedule of the shoot. I know when I need to be on set. I know when we're shooting that scene, and I know how long it's going to take. And no, I'm not. Look, I'm not leaving more than an hour early. I don't care. I'm gonna leave an hour before my call time if I hit traffic or if your production is too far away. Fuck you. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have done that. You're not paying me enough, okay? I need to sleep. I need to do my other auditions. I need to do all my like TikToks, and I need to do my other brand deals and stuff like that because you're not paying me enough to not do that.
Right.
So, and you could, but you're not. So, you might have to wait 15 minutes, but is it going to hold up production? No, it's not, because I know what I'm doing, and I've been doing this longer than any of those ADs. So, I don't want to hear it. I don't. Yeah. I know that I'm in the wrong in this. I know that I'm wrong. I know that. I know that. I know that logically it's wrong, but so far it's always worked out. So, it's okay. It's fine. It's totally fine. I think. Girl math.
Huh. You know what I love is that even with as much time...
I'm just so burnt out. I'm just so burnt out, babe.
That was a lot. That's a long run, man. It's a long run at 12 hours a day. Like you said, bouncing between 100 different things and trying to have some semblance of a personal life. It can be a lot, man.
Also, look, you're not giving... in this type of stuff, like, you guys could extend the shoot by a week. Mm-hmm. They have these projects are making enough money. They can afford to do it, but they don't want to because they want to crunch. And I'm tired of being stressed out about that. Yeah, I'm really tired about it. I don't get any time to like rehearse with the casting crew. You get a blocking rehearsal real quick and then you get 1 or 2 takes. That's it. And it's like done. So you don't get any like time to really delve into a character, or you don't have time to like really enjoy your job. And I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't sign up for that. I'm stressed out enough as it is showing up, and I want to have fun and enjoy my job and enjoy what I do for a living. That's why we're all here. That's why we're all doing this stuff. Yeah. Right? I refuse to allow that to like stress me out so much where I'm like, I have to be specifically on time for this project because I don't want anybody to think bad about me. And no, nobody's looking out for me. Nobody gives a fuck about me. They don't. They care about, we want you on camera.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. They want you on camera.
You're talking about this specific
this world, like this type of content.
Okay.
They want you on camera. They want your face because they know it'll get views. They know da-da-da-da-da. Cool. All right, you guys want to use me? All right, cool. You're going to get what you're going to get. Like, sorry. If you don't want to be professional and, like, hold yourselves to a higher standard and, like, treat me the way I'm used to being treated on productions, which is not anything out of the ordinary, but like a regular actor. You know, like, okay, we're going to take time on your hair and makeup. We're going to make sure that that you match the character that we're, like, trying to portray. We're not going to rush you through. We're going to make sure that this is done properly. We're going to make sure that you guys have time to rehearse. You're going to make sure that you guys are good in the moment, so we're not going to rush through the scene. We're going to do it as fast as possible, but we're going to get the best performances out because that's what we're going for. We want the best piece of artwork, the best thing that we're trying to make. That's not the case here. It's like a factory. And at that point I'm like, okay, I see what I am to you guys. I'm cool. I won't stress myself out about that though. I won't. And I won't feel bad about it either. I don't at all.
Look, man, I don't think people understand it can be, I think we said it earlier, but like, you know, even if it is like a lot of kind of sitting around some days on set on like a 12-hour day, you know, it's a lot of like hurry up and wait is kind of the famous saying, right? And it can, it's exhausting though, in the sense that like there's so much happening around you all the time, and then you have this kind of, you know, kind of thing in the back of your head, whether it's anxiety or whatever it may be, knowing that you're gonna have to perform and you're not always quite sure what it's gonna be, and then you get there and then you're expected to be like full tilt, you know. Well,
especially you with stunts, because there was a scene in like Fall Guy where there was something where like Ryan's character did not know. He got called to another country, shows up on set, and, like, is literally on the way there, and they, like, hadn't told him what the stunt was, that he was, they told him it was going to be easy, and you're like...
I just told him on the day?
Yeah, and you're like, yeah, no, that happens all the time. Like, you don't necessarily... Like, they might give you a rough idea of what you're doing, but you don't actually know what you're doing.
A lot of times, I mean, typically what it'll be is, like, the coordinator will call you, and kind of discuss what the job is. And a good coordinator, you know, does their best to know all the ins and outs. I mean, that's their job of what the stunt is and, like, what's going to be required and the safety precautions, all that jazz. And, but, you know, in this business, things change on the fly, dude. They change on the fly, especially the higher up you go and actually, that's not true. Sometimes the higher up you go, the changes are usually brought down by, like, whatever sort of analytics, whether it's like money issues or testings or whatever the fuck it is, right? And reshoots and things like that. On the lower budget ones, you know, it's kind of the opposite, but like the same kind of, it's like we're running out of time. We're, you know, doing all that, and so things just change on the fly all the time. Or
it's like maybe like a camera is set up and it's like, but actually, wouldn't this look really cool if you did it this way?
And oftentimes that's how you end up getting the best shots in the world, or those like brief moments of inspiration that pop off from somebody. But there are a lot of times where like you roll up to set, and for whatever reason there was communication, there wasn't enough time for communication, or things just change on the fly, and you'll get there and you have no fucking clue what it is you're doing. Like, I worked on Beverly Hills Cop, and I doubled.
You did. Yeah, you did.
I did. It was definitely one of my favorite jobs. I got to work on it for like 3 months. Got to double Joseph Gordon-Levitt, be on the same call sheet as Eddie Murphy.
We need to print that out. Like, you have to print out your call sheet. Eddie Murphy with Tyler Tackett, and we have to.
To go back to your earlier question, how little fucking baby Tyler would feel, he'd be pretty
fucking stoked. Yeah, he would.
But like one of the bigger stunts that I had to do on that shoot was a car crash, and I'd never done a car crash before. I mean, not on purpose. I've done quite a few on accident. Maybe that was my training. I should put that on my resume. Have been in X amount of car crashes. Just not specify the scenario.
That's great.
Yeah. No, so like I roll up to set one day, and also that's like a really high profile movie, so they're real tight-lipped about the script, you know?
Oh, yeah.
They're not just giving the script out and sides out to everybody.
Yeah.
You know? Not willy-nilly. Or maybe you got the sides for the day, but it was like on the day.
No, that's what they do is they'll send out like what you're filming that day. Everybody will get it. Like they'll get that part of the script, but they won't get the full script itself.
If you're like a stunt player or something like that, yeah. Or not like a main cast member.
Even some Marvel movies, though.
Oh, I would imagine specifically, I would say like Marvel movies are probably the worst. Chris Nolan movies.
But with the main cast. They don't know what they're...
Especially Tom Holland. That boy just drops secrets left and right.
Anyways, I'm sorry, I didn't want to distract.
No, you're good. So I roll up to set one day, and we're shooting down on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. And that's how you know the movie had money, because they rented like 3 blocks on Rodeo Drive.
There? God.
Dude. Like, and they had to have gotten like the block because they needed like on the side streets like trailers and catering and things of that nature.
Then you also have all the cars that are hired to be in the scene.
Filled up because the scene was supposed to be like gridlock traffic. So anyway, and mind you, like at this point, don't fucking tell anybody. But that's not true. I was gonna say I was relatively new to stunts, but that's actually not true. I had been working in it for a while. But this was definitely the biggest gig that I had been on.
It's probably the biggest gig a lot of people have ever been on. It's Beverly Hills Cop.
I got to do all the I got to do all the second unit stuff. Like most of if you watch the movie, there's a good portion where they have this really great car chase scene where Eddie and Judge Reinhold and JGL are all in a pink antique truck thing.
Yeah.
So I got to do a lot of the driving around with that. But anyway, this particular day, I roll up to set. I see they got all ready, but this is a big day, and like Jerry Bruckheimer is producing. Mm-hmm. I casually met Jerry Bruckheimer. Crazy, right? So I get there and they put me in the wig, and because I had short hair, he had long hair at the time. Put me in the wig. They get me all done up. They take me to set. Get on Rodeo Drive. It's all this traffic, and I see there's like a flower truck ahead, and then the stunt coordinator is like standing by a car. Shout out Kyle Woods, 5150, Mike Gunther.
Oh, that was in didn't they have that logo?
You're thinking Stunts Unlimited.
Oh, sorry.
Also a great team, 87. There's a bunch of great teams.
I think there was a sticker that said 5150 on one of the helmets.
Maybe. That'd be sick if there was. It's great team.
Yeah.
Really, really great guys. Really talented. Anywhoosers, so Woods is over by the car, and he sees me. He's like, "Hey, Tyler, come over here. Let's get you in the car. Get you feeling used to it." I'm like, "Oh, I guess I'm gonna be sitting in a car today. I wonder why. That's weird. I wonder why Joe's not doing it." I'm like, "All right, whatever. Maybe they just need to line up the shot, or because they'll do that sometimes. They'll have you just kind of be kind of a glorified stand-in.
Yeah.
That'll happen, or maybe it's just like they need to shoot him in a different scene, so they're having me do some like B-roll type stuff while he's off doing something else. It's a very efficient way to do it if you have the money for it." He goes, I get in the car, and as soon as I look at the car, I'm like, "Oh, this car has been like rigged for a crash," because a lot of the insides are taken out. It's got cage. It's reinforced, essentially,
so that you can't get hurt.
And the seatbelts are typically different, like around the waist and stuff and things like that, depending on the situation. Anyway, so I get in there and I'm like, huh. And I remember he shut the door. And he was like, "All right," so he goes, he's looking at me, he's smiling. And he's like a stunt dude, but he also owns like a horse ranch in Florida. He's got this like beard, and he was like one of the greatest like motocross riders at one point. Hangs out of helicopters wild dude, right?
Yeah.
And he squats down and he looks at me and he's smiling and he's like, "You ever done a car crash before?" And I'm like, "No."
It's a great day to start.
Yeah. He's like, "You're gonna be fine. So here's what we need you to do."
But what a Hollywood fucking awesome moment. And for him, he knows that's cool. He's like, I've got this kid We've got this young, like, stunt dude.
Yeah.
I know he hasn't done a stunt car crash before because I saw his fucking resume.
Right.
But he gonna do that now, and now it's gonna be on his resume for one of the biggest movies in the world.
Yeah.
A big blockbuster film. And I'm gonna make him do it, and he's gonna do it. He's gonna be safe. He's gonna be fine, and he's not gonna know, and he's not gonna have any time to be scared. And now he can do it again in the future because people will hire him to do it. So. Like, that's cool.
It was cool. They were all really great. They were they're very good at their jobs, so they were very confident in their ability to keep me safe. And mind you, it was still a minor car crash, but it was more like difficult to do correctly, or it sounded more intimidating to try to pull off correctly, because what they need me to do, and if you watch the movie, you'll see the scene I'm talking about, but it's in the scene where Eddie's in his Bronco on Rodeo, and Joe is a couple cars behind in his, I think it was a Crown Vic.
Yeah, it was an old boy.
Yeah. And Joe's a couple cars back, and there's this white flower truck, it looks like a flower truck, I think. It's like a white van. Pulls up next to Eddie, a couple cars ahead, and this door slides open, and oh no, believe it or not, bad guys, machine guns. Right? Eddie, thinking fast, or should I say Axel Foley, drops his head, and that's when our boy Sly took over, and Sly was like the driving double for Eddie, and did a lot of other doubles for him too.
Oh yeah, he's in the helicopter, right?
Yeah. He did the helicopter.
That's wild.
Dude, that's a bad dude right there.
Insane.
He does all kinds of crazy shit. That's nothing compared to like the shit he does before. Anyway, so Axel Foley drops his head down and he throws the Bronco in reverse and starts like going like high speed reverse through Rodeo traffic, right? Mm-hmm. At the exact same time that he pulls back, Joe sees the gunfire and like pulls out, bounces off one car, like chips off of it's what it's called, and then hits the van right as Eddie pulls out, and he hits the van.
Yeah.
And the bad guys fall onto the hood, and then Joe draws his pistol and takes him out, right? So, that's me. The close-ups are obviously Joe, but I got to do you get
to do all the
I got to do the crash and stuff.
Like
so I'm sitting there, and he tells me what I'm going to have to do. He's like, okay, you see that car up there on the side? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, I need you to chip off that car. And I'm like, uh-huh. And then, depending on how you hit it, you need to chip off of it, turn the car, and then drive. And you have to hit the van. You have to T-bone the van perfectly. I need you gotta make sure you hit it dead center, because there's another stunt performer, obviously, that's going to be standing there, and he's going to have to take the hit, fall out of the truck, and fall in the hood of the car, right? He's like, just make sure you like hit it and keep your foot on the gas and stay connected, because we don't want you to hit it, bounce off, and then
smush him,
and then him fall between and get smushed, right?
That's the scariest part.
Yeah, man. And I've never met the dude.
Yeah.
That his life is now sort of. I mean, again, we weren't going crazy fast, but it's still fast enough, like and you're crashing and bouncing off cars, and it's a lot of heavy metal. Any hoosers. So he tells me, like, okay, chip off this, go there, and I'm like, okay, sick. And I guess I can probably show it now. The movie's out.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. I have some footage of me. I'll post it, or I'll have it cut in. I have some footage of me right before the stunt, and dude, you can see me just white knuckling that steering wheel. And the guys in the truck next to me were more like cartel members or whatever. They were other stunt guys, and they're trying to say, like, "You got this, bro. You got this." And then they have like face tattoos, and they're all dressed up all crazy. And they were like, "You got this, bro. You got this." And I'm like, "Thanks, man. Thanks, man."
And you look so sweet and innocent because you have the Joseph Gordon-Levitt hair.
Yeah, and I had like the chin strap kind of beard thing going on.
Yeah, you just look like this sweet, innocent little...
I mean, it looks cool on Joe. I look like a child, but like...
Well, you're a lot younger, too.
Not that... Am I? How old is Joe Levitt? 45?
Yeah.
He's like 10 years older, maybe?
At least, yeah.
Early 40s, probably?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was cool. He was really, really cool. He was a tote. It was really neat to see it was really neat to see someone at his level and like what that level of like professionalism kind of looks like, and to kind of just like be a fly on the wall and watch someone like that do. It was the first time I had interacted with someone of his caliber before, and not to, I mean, you know, and that was really great. But then you add Eddie Murphy to the mix too. You know,
how funny is it doing scenes with him?
I mean, it was fun to watch. I didn't get to really interact with him too much. I did, however. There was one day. Towards the climax of the movie takes place in this big mansion up in the hills, right?
Oh, that scene is very
And it's like Joe and Eddie, like, you know, going out taking out the bad guys, but they're both police officers, so they have to clear rooms like police officers. They have to hold their guns correctly. They have to know how to check corners and like, you know, do all that correctly. So there's this one specific shot where they're like going through a hallway. First of all, I got to run through one room while one of the bad guys has a machine gun, and they're like shooting the couch as I run by. And it's like they had all the squibs blowing off and
that's
shit exploding by me, and I was like, oh fuck. So that was really cool. But then this was kind of a highlight for me was we're doing the scene where after that they have to like clear the hallway or something, you know, big mansion. And they're sitting there shooting the shit, and then Joe and Eddie come up and they're like, all right, man, so how should we do this? Like, what's kind of the action? And I'm the only one standing there, you know, so I kind of have this moment where I'm like, me? And he's like, yeah. And they were super kind, and Eddie was super kind and just very like, yeah, what's the move here? You know, and kind of, I mean, not like he really needed, he's
done it before, but you
like,
know.
I think it was more he was asking what's the action. He doesn't need me he's been playing Axel Foley for forever. That's not what it was. But it was like, oh, they're like, they were acknowledging me and asking me, and I got to have a moment where I got to be like, oh, this is what we're doing.
No, well, this is your job, like, so show us how.
It was just kind of neat.
Yeah, it's nice.
And they were both very, very kind and great. You know who else was really great was I got to spend like an hour talking to Kevin Bacon.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I did a podcast, what is it? The Daddy podcast, not Call Her Daddy, but something Daddy podcast. I did a podcast, and they were talking about, they said something about how I got connected to them was like through another person who I knew through another person. They're like, yeah, it's like that 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
And I was like, my boyfriend worked with Kevin Bacon, actually. And they're like, see? Another degree to Kevin Bacon. Everybody somehow apparently knows Kevin Bacon through somebody.
Well, if you're one of the people that gets to, he is just such a doll.
Yeah.
He was so kind. Yeah, we were in holding one day, and it was just me and him sitting there, and I waited. I gave it the proper, like, I'm just going to sit here in awkward silence with him for a bit. And, like, I know he's probably just waiting for me to open my stupid mouth, and he knows it's coming, but he was so fucking gracious, and we sat and talked. And he asked me questions about like how, you know, he was being polite, but he still took the time to. We talked for like 45 minutes to an hour. He was telling me, you know, his daughter that movie Smile was playing at South by Southwest down in Texas. And we were talking about that. He was literally like doing this scene, and then he was going to jump on a plane and fly to Texas. And he was really great. He was really gracious too, which kind of reinstills your faith in this whole thing.
Yeah, it's nice when you meet like the good ones. I feel like most people are.
I do too.
Pretty great.
You hear horror stories, and we've certainly both experienced them for sure, and they're always there. But I do really believe, like at least in my experience, most that you meet out here, the real people that you meet out here that are really doing it, like. They're great. We're all the same. We're all doing the same shit. We're all the weird kid.
Yeah.
You know, the weird artsy kid with ideas and weird personality quirks, and we all kind of found each other. It's like the island of misfit toys kind of out here, you know?
It is.
And that's kind of beautiful.
I think that, you're going to have the ego freaking... There's some who just make it through the cracks and they make it to the top and they just suck. And it's like their egos have just been fed and it's ridiculous. But that's very... far and few between. Like most, I think, most people who have really made it, they had to go through the grind, and now they have like a certain respect, and there's a certain there's just an essence to them. And a lot of times what you see on camera and what comes off that makes them like a star, it's like an aura that they have where they give off like a certain presence and they make you feel good, just like even being around.
It's a kind of confidence, right? Like it's a confidence in like being comfortable in front of other people, because I think you can only be that comfortable in front of other people if you know you're not a shithead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like at least on some level, I mean, I guess if you're some crazy narcissist or something like that, maybe, I don't know, but like, I feel like on some level you're always kind of conscious of the fact that you're being a dick.
Yeah.
Which kind of in turn makes you like...
narcissists are too. They're conscious of it, they just don't care. They don't care and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
So it's not like a thing. I think...
But like you're the average Joe, like, they're, they're the average Joe, I think, would recognize if they're being a dick, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of does make you a little, on some deep level, a little insecure and weird and stuff. And I think if you know that you're a good person, even on a bad day, you're still a good person at your core. You do kind of typically, I think, are more comfortable with, I don't know, that sort of thing, and you show up in the world more confident, more welcoming, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's like you don't have anything to hide, and there's no judgment, and you're just kind of like, you know, and you're, and also it's like there's certain people who get. I think you see it more on like a lower level because you haven't weaved through all the bullshit yet. You haven't gotten through it all yet. So like you're on certain level stuff, you're way more likely to run into assholes and pieces of shit because it's like they might be like the biggest fish in this tiny, tiny pond, but they're in it for the wrong reason or something. So
there's definitely that.
There's a lot more of that kind, but like as you kind of weave your way through, those people start to fall off for the most part because people. Like, you know, we talked about it last episode, I think it was mentioned, like you're on set for all this time. People, you know, the people who are in charge of hiring, they hire one, who's going to show up, who do I know is going to show up, and two, who's right for the job.
Yeah.
And three, who do I want to be around?
Yeah, that's a big part of it, man. It's a big part of it. You got to think, like we were saying, like, the 12-hour days, the 16, 18-hour days, for weeks on end at times. Like that's and not always the most stellar, most comfortable situations, you know, like and you know, high pressure environment and all that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah,
it's a lot. So you tend to see better personalities. Now there are the ones that kind of creep through, and I don't know how that works. Like I don't know how. That's so not a reality to me that somebody was like, "Oh, Carl, I like you, kid. You got a good look. All right, we're gonna make you famous." Like,
I love that that's your go-to voice for that character.
I feel like that's what it is. I feel like that's the voice of, like, you know, the ones that just like kind of pop out of nowhere, and it's like, oh, God, I've been doing this for such a long time. I was in 3 movies before I made $1 million. And I'm like, oh, really? Have you seen my IMDb? God damn. Okay. It's embarrassing. Don't look at it. But it's jam-packed. Like, girl been working. She's been working.
Yeah.
And yeah, so, but I'm like, okay, like, that's great. And then it's like, oh yeah, like I went to theater school and then all of a sudden I got this agent who just did everything. That's such a rare thing to happen. Like, that's so...
God, but when you see it, you're like...
It's annoying, but at the same time, a lot of times, those people, those are the ones who end up being dicks because they were like... brought in and coddled so young. They never were in the trenches. They were never in the trenches.
They never had to bleed.
No, they didn't. They didn't have to do background work. They didn't have to do any, like, they didn't have to do any of that. And they were always told that they were special. And that, you know, I think it's good to believe that you're special. I think that's a great thing. But when that's all you know and you've never had any type of, I don't know, like, just being a real person and knowing, like, hey, no, man, or having that feeling of like, yeah, you're replaceable. You're just another human.
Yeah.
Or because there is this weird hierarchy hierarchy on film sets and shit on any set where it's like, you know, first team eats first, which is like, you know, your top of the call sheets, and then it's like after that, you know, it's like then you got your, you know, your other people do this, and like, okay, the crew doesn't talk to these people because that's, you know, it's like a different thing, and everybody's got their like roles that they play, and it's very cliquey sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, if you've only ever been at the top, you don't know how horrible it is to be at the bottom. So then when you are at the top of the call sheet, I think that it's your job to set a tone for the rest of the crew.
You're the captain of the ship.
Yeah, and like if other people see you talking to crew members or talking to other cast members who may not be like on your quote unquote level,
yeah,
or just interacting and being cool and fun, then that gives everybody else permission to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like, I don't talk to those people and actually they can't sit with us.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. Like there's sometimes certain you need time, you know, your number ones and stuff when they have a lot of dialogue, they've got some intense stuff, or maybe they're super, super famous and people are in their face all the fucking time. They need to be kept separate. They do. They can't be, they're not a wild animal for people to just come and be like, oh my God, can I take a selfie? They can't, it's not at work. You know,
Right.
They need to be separate. But for the most part, like, there's no need to be a dick. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. If you haven't had to experience that, then you've always been held on this pedestal. Yeah, it's a recipe for a dick. But
Recipe for a dick.
it's a recipe for a dick. But if you've gone through it, like, you know, you can be like, all right, yeah, I'm gonna separate myself and go over here and do my thing and stuff. But you'll still be kind to people. If someone were to come up to you or you run into somebody or bump into somebody along the way, like, you're not going to be rude to them. Like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
I like to think that most people, as much as we kind of vent on here, I do think the best people I've ever met, I know for a fact that 90% of the best people I've ever met have been on some form of like film set, commercial, student film, iPhone video, doesn't matter, like other artists, like, you know, it is a really cool community, and the good ones always stand out, and the good ones always keep working.
We are filming at an absolutely stunning location. We've been here for a couple of days. We'll probably be here a couple more. But they're setting up for a new shot, and lunch is kind of running late. So I think I'm going to try and get a workout in down by their little like moat/lake over here. It is so cute. So, all right, let's give it a shot. Sorry guys, we lost our camera. We lost our main cam. It overheated. Apparently we were having a real
It's because this shit's fire, dog.
Yeah, we were having some hot topics. No, but basically...
I hurt my head.
Wait, what?
Sorry. I feel like I almost looked at my brain.
Oh, that happens sometimes. Yeah, you have some facial expressions. But you were basically saying, like, there's outliers who end up being dicks, and somehow they make it all the way up there.
Yeah, there's always outliers, but I feel like most people that you meet in this industry really are, you know, they're dope. I meet, like, the coolest people on the regular. Like, one of the main PAs, this girl Kelly that I met, was, like, just bouncing all over the place and, like, saying hi to everybody, and was super on top of her gig, too, but was also, like, very friendly and keeping the energy really high. And then, like, I met the second AD, and she was also, like, at one point I was in my trailer, and she, like, knocked on the, she knocked on my trailer door open, and she was just standing there with pizza. And she's like, "Hey, it's cold out. We thought you guys might want some pizza."
Which project is this for?
Oh,
Beverly
yeah,
Hills? Or this is the new one?
Oh, I thought you said, yeah, no, it's not Beverly Hills, it's a new one, sorry.
Yeah. No, because you're working on some...
You know what it is? You've got me paranoid. I'd never know what you were going to say.
Oh, no, I won't. I know that you can't talk about it yet. I'm so excited for him to be able to, because it's awesome, and I'm so proud of you. So proud of you.
Very cool. But, point being, like, you meet people like that, who I'll probably, may never see again, but you're like, oh, you were fucking great. And you meet all kinds of people like that on these sets.
You'll see them, though, because you're working on it for your...
I just mean, like moving on after, like, this project, right? That's what we were saying earlier.
You don't know. You might.
Yeah, and that happens all the time, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess, going back to the previous point would be, like, you know, one of the cool parts of this is getting to meet all these, like, kind of, you get introduced to these, like, different families for a brief period in your life, and hopefully you all get to work together again, but it's always the same, at least on the good sets, where, like, you get in there and you get really, I don't know, you get really tight, and you all gotta go to war together for whatever this thing is, and then you guys all kind of high-five and go separate ways, and you support each other, typically through, like, social media and things like that, and hopefully you run into them again. Sometimes you make friends that you hang out with, but by and large, you know, it's this one experience, this really strange experience that you had with these strangers who became, like, really good friends or family, and you guys go through this shit together, and there's days where you're all mad at each other, and there's days where you can't stop hugging, and there's days you cry, and there's days you laugh, you know?
Yeah, and there's, like, good days, there's bad days, there's days full of stress, where everybody, because it all trickles down, so if, like, the, you know, if, like, the top people are, like, if the producers are stressed out, which the producers are always stressed out. But like, but if the director's stressed out and showing it, and if like the actors are the main cast is stressed out and they're all showing it, and then the crew it trickles, everybody feels it. But if it's good energy, and that's the thing though, like, you know, I work a lot, but a lot of my work is, you know, it's not the same as what you're doing. You know, like it might have a very high reach, but the productions are not spending as much money on trying to make sure that the crews are happy, because they don't care about, realistically, they don't care about the art. The projects that you get to work on, which is really, really cool, is that they do actually, like, these are real, true professionals, lifetime in the industry people who have, like, gotten to a point where they can make something really, really awesome. They finally have the budgets to do it, and they want to make something amazing, and the experience is great for everybody, and then and then it trickles down from everybody. So, like, you know, the fact, like, someone coming to your door and bringing you pizza, or the PA bouncing around being happy because she's living her dream, you know, and that might not be her ultimate dream, but she is living the dream. She is on
a cool life.
Like,
right?
What a cool life working with. Yeah. I know who she's working with.
Yeah.
You know who she's working with, but also, we won't say his name, we won't talk about it right now, but who you're working with is, what you've said is, like, he knows how to run the show in a really good way, where he is a great example, and he is a good motivator, and you've always been a fan of his work, but now, like, you're a lifetime fan of him. For
sure. I think if you're going to be number one or number 1 through 5 on the call sheet, you know, as far as the performers go, you're kind of the team captains.
Yeah.
There is a level of responsibility, because if number 1 or number 2 on the sheet is being, you know, a pain in the ass, that's going to affect everything, you know, and that happens, you know. There's also times where people just get caught on a bad day, and, you know, they're isolated incidents too, and of course, but, you know, it can be, it's stressful, and again, long hours and stuff like that, but it does trickle down, and it can be whatever you want it to be. You can go into this like anything else and have a bad attitude about it, or you could, like, look back and be like, oh, fuck, I work on movies and shit, you know. And it's cool when you see performers at the highest level, you know, the professional athletes of their, you know, profession. Professional.
Well, no, but yeah, they are, of their craft.
Of their craft. Miss.
Oh, do you need me to...
Stop it. You stop that right now. Good Lord, woman.
Love you.
But it's cool when you see people that are, like, deep in the game, and they have been doing it for a long time, and then they still carry that sort of enthusiasm and excitement for the job, and I think they respect where they are on the call sheet, and they, just like with the producers and the directors and all of that, over the whole thing, or over, like, certain departments and things like that, for the actors, like, those guys really dictate the pace in a lot of ways, and they kind of set an example for what's acceptable and what isn't on that set, you know? So it's a lot of responsibility. It is cool, and it's very refreshing. But it's just great when you get on any set, and, like, oftentimes, you know, the small ones, the intimate, like Placid Park, like I know we bring it up all the time because we're excited about the movie. Should be coming out this year. Hopefully, we'll see. But you never know. But
a lot
really,
of special effects.
It's gonna be great. But we were all, there was maybe 15 of us, 20 of us or something total at any given time, including extras probably. And we're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's not, you know, we're staying in cabins and stuff, but it was like, it was
more than 50. That was probably 30.
Okay, maybe so. My
probably
numbers
30.
are all mixed up. But either way, it's by comparison, very small crew, working long hours and things like that, but nobody fucking complained, dude. Like, it was a lot of work, and we were, you know, we were definitely working. You know, everybody was. But I don't know. We all left there, and it felt like we had gone to war together, and we had like these beautiful experiences, and like.
I mean, you and I practically live together now, but like everybody on that set, like I'm friends with everybody. Like I talk to them daily. Yeah. Every single one of them. They're like you create these bonds where it's like you go through things and experience things emotionally and where that. And spend so much time together. And the girls, like, we all lived in the same room together.
Yeah, it was a cabin. So we were set up bunk beds and stuff,
We were like...
But that was kind of part of the fun and the charm of it. And, like, when else in your life would you have had that kind of experience and then go out and spend your days, you know, pretending to be on, like, acid or rolling around in an RV or whatever other crazy nonsense we had going on. And... You know, then we would all get together and Grandma, that's all she'd let us call her, was Grandma, the wonderful woman that ran this whole, like, camping ground we were shooting on, would, like, make us all dinner. We'd all, like, in the mess hall together, the whole crew after a long day's work, like, or camping, in between.
You know, like, or being at, like, a summer camp.
It's fucking great, man. And it's a hard, unpredictable life, and... You can never really give anybody any advice on how to do it. I guess you can give them pointers and things like that, but everyone's journey on this thing is so fucking individual and so different, right? Like the way I got here and the way you got here, two very different, you know, routes, very different, right?
Parallel.
Sure, but so vastly different, right? Like just like when you meet someone on like camera team or something, you guys are working on the same show or the same thing, but your path of getting there, or another actor, you know, your way of getting there was so vastly different. So you can't really ask someone like, what are the step-by-step things that I need to do in order to become this, that, or the other? Can't tell someone that, not for an artist. The thing about what we do, and I think the way that you find success in this, aside from just the working hard and being professional and the obvious things, I mean, work really fucking hard. Like when it's like, oh, this sucks. That's not hard enough. Like hard, but but I feel like
you know, you have to really love what you do, and you have to just do it and have faith in enough faith in yourself that it's going to be okay.
Yeah, you have to just have that. I know it sounds corny, but you kind of just have that. Do your research, take advice or learn from what other people have done and find ways to make it applicable to your life. But the biggest thing about what we do and the place where people fuck up, man, is they get so lost in the hustle of it all that they forget why they started it in the first place. And the reason you started in the first place is because you had a voice. You had an individual voice in whatever route that was, from makeup to stunts to catering to whatever the fuck, directing, acting, doesn't matter. You had a voice, right? And you felt like that voice needed to be heard, and that's still true. So stay to that. Whatever inspires you, whatever makes you the creative you, stay true to that. Work really hard, and learn from other people's fuck ups. Learn to respect the craft. Learn to respect all the positions. Really respect the job as a whole. If you're an actor, yes, that is your profession, but your profession only exists as part of other people's profession for one goal, and people lose sight of that because it's such a hard like fucking journey to get work at all.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a vertical or a show or a web series or a student film or music video, it doesn't matter. It's so hard.
I mean,
So you just got to be consistent. Not give up, you know. You
hit really hard with you tend to lose sight. One thing I never really lost sight of was like who I was. A lot of people lose sight of that and they try to
brag about it.
No. But I've lost sight of other things, and you know, so you have some people who like you're told like, oh, you want to fit in this mold or you want to be this person, or like, you know, I was working on set with an actor this week and he was very young and, you know, really trying to be like, and he's like, well, how should I make my Instagram page? He's like, you've got a lot of followers on there, and what should I do? Like, I really want to try to show myself as this. Same thing you've said is like, who are you in the marketplace? You talked about that last episode, right? And I was like, oh, so fucking stupid. I hate that.
But valid advice. It's valid advice. Like, you have to understand what it means.
Somebody who knows who they are.
Right.
But to somebody who doesn't, and which is exactly what you said when you were a young kid, and this is a kid trying to be like, you know, I'm trying to, you know, I really want a position, so I want to do, and I was like, listen, your social media is you.
Yeah. Sell
you. Like, yeah, you can display like your version of yourself, but it's not those aren't your headshots. Your social media and that's not what it is. If you want people to fall in love with you, who are you? And if you don't know who that is now, that's okay. But always be true to you and try not to lose sight of that, because that's what you're going to bring to any project. So anytime you go in there, that's what you bring to every audition. That's what you bring to every show. That's what you bring to every commercial. That's what you bring to every movie, whatever, or student film, whatever it is you're doing. You're bringing who you are to that character. Like, let that light shine. That's what makes it different. Other than that, like, then yeah, you're competing with everybody. And you can't just fit in this mold. So a lot of people lose sight of that. I luckily didn't really lose sight of that, but I did lose sight of why I got in this industry in the first place when I was working a lot and working on projects that didn't have any heart or soul behind them.
Yeah.
And I was like making money, and, you know, you have a fan base and you're doing what, you know, and you're working on camera, you know, and that's fun, and people are seeing it and people seem to like what you do. But I was like, fuck, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? That's, you know, part of why we started the podcast, was to just be able to shine light on stuff like that. Because it does become very like it's a business, or it's just like a content farm. And God, it breaks your soul at some point where you're like, I know that it's more than this. Like, what am I doing? So then when you do get to work on those projects where everybody is in it for the right reasons,
yeah,
God, it's so magical. Like doing Placid Park with you, like, you called me at the perfect time, babe. You called, like, and I needed that. I needed it for my soul.
Yeah. It's funny that happens, but you have to have worked hard to put yourself in a position for those things to happen, you know? Like, it's not an accident, you know? Why I have called you for many projects, why you get called by so many other people for projects. You're great. And you worked really hard to be great at what you do, and you take it seriously. It's not an accident, you know? So it's like, what is it? It's like, luck meets, luck is like, or luck meets preparation. I don't know. Anyway, I got lost in my own, like, fucking...
Genius?
Yeah, that's what that was. I'm glad you said it, so I didn't have to. No, so it's not an accident. So I think to kind of put a button on it and kind of wrap it all up, I think there's a balancing act. I think it's being aware of what the work is, respect the work enough to know all the ins and outs. Look, the more you learn about how you know, the films and shows and things are made, the better you're going to be. You're going to understand how to play with the camera, and you're going to have ideas and things like that. So be willing to learn, but also be able to balance between that and also maintaining that free, creative kind of side of you and staying true to who you are, and put that into the world, and then add that hard work element of just being almost unbearably unstoppable. Like so many people are going to be like, this silly son of a bitch, just stop, dude. It annoys me that they're posting shit on Instagram because all their shit sucks, and you just don't fucking stop.
Who cares? Just keep doing it, because it'll get better, and you learn. You can wait for somebody to give you $1 million.
Yeah.
And that will never happen. Or
yeah.
you can create stuff and learn and meet people along the way and enjoy the journey, and it'll get better and better and better until somebody does think you're worth $1 million, $10 million, $20 million. Like, it can happen. That's how it happens, is from people who do that. And also, we forget the reason why we get in this industry is we wanted to make people feel. And it's not about me and what I can give and all of my wonderfulness. Yes, do we know that about ourselves? We do. There's like something about that we want to share. But really, at the end of the day, we want to make people feel. And people want to feel. So give them something to feel. Whether it's a side of you or an emotion, but it has to be real. It can't be fake. It's got to be like a real side of you. Make them feel something. That's what people want. That's what acting is. That's what this side of that's what art as a whole is making people feel. And it's not just a glamorous look at me, look at what I can do, and look how beautiful I look in front of a camera or how cool I am. It's really not that. If those can be very fun parts, or you could be really downright ugly or look like a total freaking loser, and that's the part that you're playing and you're portraying, and that makes someone feel. So I don't know, make people feel. That's what our job is, and that's what people want. They want to see something that they can relate to, and maybe that they couldn't express themselves.
I agree. You gonna get out of here?
I was kind of hungry.
Okay. Yeah? Well, before we take off, everyone, thanks for hanging out. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell down the bottom so you can stay up to date on all the videos that we're going to be putting out. Promise there's going to be more of them coming now that we have a little bit more time, now that you're done with your marathon and I got to get through my week. But we'll have more coming when I add in sketches and things like that. And talk to us in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, let us know what you guys want us to talk about next.
We're still kind of finding our voice in this whole thing, but it's fun hanging out with the ones that show up. And yeah, throw some stuff at us if you want to talk about it, and we'll be unbearably candid.
Yeah, we will.
Man,
love you.
What?
Whoa, hey!